Excuse me, everyone, if I could have your attention, please. Probably wondering why we gathered you here tonight.
Prestige worldwide. Why?
Hi, welcome to The Talk with Prestige Worldwide. I'm Devin Hoff.
I'm Nadine.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Esmeralda.
And I'm Tanya.
And today's segment is about death. We're going to be covering chapter 19. So what is death?
Well, I would say that when someone is dying, that's the process of it, and then actually being death is the state of it. So it's just, you're not there anymore. It's the end of something.
Okay. So today's segment is on death. I hope you enjoy.
Good morning, doctor. How you doing?
Not so good.
Yeah? Well, Esmeralda, did anybody ever tell you that there's 4 ways someone is pronounced dead?
There's 4 ways. I thought
There's
you just
4
die.
ways. No, there's actually something called the clinical way of dying, clinical death, and that means if someone stops breathing and their heart stops functioning.
Okay.
And then we also have biological death, which means there's no way for us to resuscitate the heart back with electrical charge. We also have social death, where someone could be in a coma and we're treating them as they were dead, but they're not clinically dead. We also have brain death, and that means when someone doesn't get oxygen in their brain between 8 to 10 minutes, and their midbrain and their cortex and their stem is all damaged and cannot be resuscitated.
Okay, so what's going on with my husband?
Oh, your husband's fine.
So why are you telling me
I'm just
this?
educating you. You can go see him if you want. Have a good day.
Help! 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 Help, doctor! Come here! I need your help!
What happened?
I accidentally hit her.
There's no movement.
She's dead?
She's not breathing. And her heart's flatlining. She's legally dead. I'm sorry. Here's a little fun fact. We found the founder of Chaffey College.
Man, you guys, this is so hard being here.
It really is.
It's pathological grieving. We all just deal with it, and it's just something that we're gonna have to go through emotionally.
But how do you feel? I mean, she was your best friend.
I mean, honestly, it hasn't really hit me yet, but her birthday's in a couple months, and I think it's gonna be a big reality check, just that she's not gonna be here.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, my best friend, she passed away like not too long ago from like ovarian cyst. And I don't know, but lately I've been feeling a lot of pain like in my lower abdomen area. And I'm just freaking out. I just feel like maybe I have a cyst now, so I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna get checked out, or because she didn't get checked out at all and she just passed away, so.
Well, I mean, my sister, when she passed away, I still can't even clean her room. I mean, some nights I'll like sleep in her clothes, can't even clean it out. I'll just wear her perfume just to remind me of her smell, like so that she doesn't get away from me.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, I just really realized after today how fast someone can really die, and it made me think about how I'm just not prepared for it. I do have a son, I do have a husband, and what happens if I die, or how I die. So in my will, I'm thinking about.
So you're writing a will right now?
Yeah, so I'm writing a will, and I'm thinking about describing the ways I would want to die, because there are a lot of ways that you can die. The first way to die is euthanasia. Like I can, in my will right now, give my husband like the power to, if I decide that I don't want to be alive for a certain amount of days, like say I get in a car crash, I'm in a coma, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna draft in my will to let my husband know that it's okay to pull a plug on me. Or if if something else happens to me to where I'm severely not able to function, then let him know that he also has the power to.
So you decide when they pull the plug?
I can decide when to pull a plug in my will.
Okay.
Versus having that put upon my family members, which can be hard because they might not want me to go, but I know it's the best thing to do. The second way of dying is physician-assisted suicide. It's not exactly legal in the state of California, and it has a lot of controversy going about it because the doctor basically gives patients some kind of drug that helps them die, just not painfully. And a lot of times when patients request this kind of suicide is because they're going through a very terminal ill kind of situation, or they're given a diagnosis that's going to lead to a very terminal ill diagnosis. So versus seeing their family go into a lot of pain and feeling pain themselves, they opt to ask a physician to help them die, which is kind of considered dying with dignity, which can also be closely related to hospice. But hospice is I guess it's legal in a sense, because it's where terminally ill patients are in care of a physician while they're dying, but they're not administering any kind of drugs, or they're not given any kind of care to help them die. It's just they're kind of there to watch them and make sure they kind of
aid their suffering, right?
Yeah, aid their suffering. They're not giving them any kind of drugs again, but they're kind of there just to kind of nurse them to death in a way.
Okay. So what are you gonna write down in your will?
Do not resuscitate.
Hi, I'm Brittany Hoff, one of the trainers on the show The Biggest Loser. I'm here to talk to you guys today about the 2 causes of death. The first cause is heart disease, and the second one is tobacco use. And unfortunately, I can't help you with quitting. I can help you getting on the right track to preventing heart disease. First, all you have to do is eat right. Then you have to exercise, and on top of all that, you have to drink a lot of water. And I'm here to help you guys get your life better and preventing heart disease. All you have to do is to get your life back on track is order my 30-day shred. It's only $19.99 with free shipping and handling. The number's on the screen.
Psychologists have looked at the role of grieving and said that it's essential to deal with the death. Crying does not mean that you have gotten over the death, and it does not mean that you have resolved it. Yet, the culture says that you do need to cry to get over a death. Most people turn to drug and alcohol for death, but this is not a way of dealing with the death. Most people go and see psychologists and therapists to deal with the painful mourning process.
So the hardest aspects of dealing with the death of a loved one is how to conduct the funeral. You can either be buried or cremated. Back in the day, it used to be a lot harder to have a funeral because of expenses, and it was pretty expensive back then, but today they have coffins at Costco, and they're fairly cheap.
Spirituality is a philosophy that many people live by. This philosophy makes people think what spirituality actually is. They start to question themselves about why is life worth living, what is life, why can't we determine our own death, and where do we go after death? What is life like after death? Spirituality makes people question many things.
Frankl's theory of spirituality is described in 3 different stages. The first stage is the somatic stage, which is basically the fight or flight stage, where people struggle to survive for their lives. It's basically based off of your instincts. It starts when you're born and continues for the rest of your life.
The second stage is psychological dimension, and that starts at birth, which means that you start developing a personality, instincts, and now you know how to interact with the environment. The psychological dimension, as well as the somatic dimension, highly develops in early adulthood.
The third stage in Frankl's spirituality theory is the noetic dimension. The noetic dimension starts in childhood, but it really develops in adolescence. It doesn't only exist with spirituality and religion, but it also makes the child think about what the meaning of life is. Wilson! Man, where is that theory of spirituality?
His theory of spirituality is that religion and spirituality are in hand. Wilson believed that with religion you have to have spirituality, and with spirituality you have to have religion. In his theory, he said that animals are meant for communication, and religion is dwelled into us. There's 3 steps to his process of religion. One is objectification. This is the perception of reality. The second one is classification. It's devoting all of your time to this religion. And the third one is mythification. Mythification is where you decide that you belong with this religion, and you understand that the religion has every part to do with your life. This is Wilson's theory of spirituality.
Back to the talk. Now, that was a lot of information to process. So now we're going to be talking about dealing with one's own death. What do you guys think?
Well, death, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. So it's best that we all just, embrace it and realize it's going to happen sooner or later.
With that said, I think that you should live your life as if you wanted to make a difference, you feel fulfilled with what you've done, with your past, and you have no regrets.
I need to say this. I feel that people think of suicide as an option.
Suicide is not an option. You shouldn't turn to suicide because you fear death.
Well, yeah, I agree with that too. And on that note, it's just gotta live your life positive. Think positive before you even reach that state. Like, think about how you can be reborn, reincarnated, or how you can spend the rest of eternity up in heaven with your loved ones, or whatever religion you believe in.
Yeah. But I think, like, if you know that you're about to die, and I mean, you can't really do anything about it, and if you're really religious, you can't sit there and hate life, you know? Like, you just need to accept it that God has a plan for you, and this is what was meant to happen. You know, you understand what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
So this is all the time we have for today.